I'm going to take you through the beginnings of the enamelling. This is glass powder which you fire with a torch and it melts and it sticks to the copper in this instance. That's what we're using. What you start with is your piece of copper. There we are, I've got that. And you have to make sure at this point it is very, very clean. You need to either use a sanding sponge or pickle or a brass brush with some soap and water, but you need to make sure that your enamel is very, very clean. You don't want any oils from your fingers on there. So what we do is we actually just hold it at the sides. There we go. We hold it at the sides so that no finger marks or oil can get onto the top. Now, what we do first is what is called counter enamelling. And counter enamelling is just to stabilize the copper. I always put a couple of coats of counter enamel on the back. Usually you would use black, but you don't have to. In fact, if you get colours all muddled up and mixed before you, if you're using several colours on one piece and you get all the leftovers muddled up on your sheet of paper, then you can put them all in a little pot, and in future you could use that as your counter enamel. So what I've got here is a piece of copper. Sorry, I've punched this out with a disc cutter, and I've drilled a hole in the top. So this is the point that you get everything done first. You drill your hole, you clean your copper, and you make sure everything's ready to go. Now what we've got here is a disc that I've already done, and I've counter enameled it. Now that has got black enamel on it. You see if you can see it. It's all I'd like to show you that it's nice, and there we go, it's nice and shiny. There you go. So that's the counter enamel on the back. What we need with our enamels is pieces of paper. Now you can use old magazines. This is copy paper. I've chosen to use this today so that you can see better. If I used pieces out of a magazine, that would be a little bit busy for the background. So what we want to do is, once we've got our piece that's counter enameled, which is this one, we're going to turn, I'll tell you what, first of all, let's show you how to counter enamel. That's probably the best way to go. Now, in your pack, you've got your powders, which is your enamel, and you've got these little sieves, which is for sieving the material onto your copper. Now, what we're going to do is pick up some of that powder. Now, your copper you're still holding it by the sides. You don't want any oils on there. And now you can either tap like that, or you can scrape your nail along these ridges on the whichever one suits you, whichever gives you the right amount for what you'd like. So this is our first coat of counter enamelling. So what I need to do is take that out of the way. I'm going to get the trivet. Mine's a bit well used. I've been doing lots and lots of playing around with it. So I'm just going to move that out of the way. And the reason we have a different piece of paper for every colour is that we're now going to pop that back into there. Okay. And I don't think I brought the lid in for that, so I'm going to put that on one side so that I don't knock it over. So we've now got our counter enamel on the back of our disc, and our disc balanced nicely on there. What we do next is take our tripod. Sorry, couldn't think of the word. We take our tripod, and You can do this any which way. You can put the trivet on first if you want to, but it's only a disc, so I'm not too bothered. There we are. So let's move that up there so you can see. Now what I'm going to do is get my torch and I go from underneath. I'm going to go from underneath, heat that up. There we go. And you'll see it going through the processes, and I'll talk you through the processes in just a minute. There we go. There we go. There we go. So there, I'm just going to put that to one side and let that cool down. So the processes this goes through, we put that to one side so I can show you. When you put your enamel on the piece, it goes through 3 phases. It goes through the sugar stage, what looks like sugar. Then it goes through the orange peel stage, and then it goes to the glossy stage. Now, I wasn't sure whether you'd be able to see that on the camera, so I've made some pieces here to show you. Let's move these other ones out of the way so that it doesn't confuse the issue. There we go. So what we've got here, that's better. So what we've got here is the sugar stage. What we've got here is the orange peel stage, which you can see. It's exactly, it's a perfect description. It's just like orange peel. And then the third one is the lovely glossy finish, which is hopefully what we've got there. Now, let's take this off the trivet. I work on tiles, so I just give it a hit like that and it falls off. So I'll put my trivet back on my tripod. Let's see if this isn't too hot. Nope. So we can now get back our enamel. I'm going to just give this one more coat and get our sieve. And you put another coat on exactly the same. Let me take the sieve away so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so that's our second coat of counter enamelling. Take that off there, pop it onto the tripod like that. You move this out of the way again. Pop that back in your pot. There we go. So don't want to waste this. It's lovely enamel. So we want to bring that here so that you can see again. And get the torch. I'm going to do exactly the same. Go. So we go from underneath, and you will see, you might see it now, it go through the sugar stage. There we go. Then the orange peel. And there's the glossy stage. Take that off there. Obviously let that cool down. That's fallen off. So what I want to show you now is this piece. Now it's going to be hot, so I'm going to hold it with the tweezers. So this piece now has got 2 coats of counter enamel on it. Now that'll balance. What happens is when you heat up the copper or any metal really, it'll expand and retract again. So this helps to balance the metal so that when you come to put your fancy colours and stuff on the front, it isn't going to crack and chip. So what we've got there, let's turn this over. On the back, we have a right royal mess, don't we? That's fire scale, and that needs cleaning off. We cannot put enamel on top of that. So there are 3 ways. There's pickling. I think I've already said this. You can pop it in your pickle if you got that type of equipment in your workshop, or you can use your sanding pads, or you can use your brass brush with soapy water. So in this instance, I'm going to drop mine in the pickle because it's the easiest thing for me to do. And to save you waiting, what I'm going to do is take a piece that I've already done. This one hasn't got a drill hole in, but it's just for an example that I'm going to show you what to do next. So I thought we might have a little bit of fun now and use 2 colours. So I've got the pale blue here, which is number 423. There we go. And we've got the candy apple. These are the opaque ones that I'm using, and this is number 407. Okay. So this is where you get your colours mixed up a little bit. So we've cleaned this. We've got our counter enamel on the back. So let's just have a play. Let's see what we can do. Let's start with the pale blue. Now these colours do change. I'll try and do it over the pot so that I don't waste too much. So give it a nice coat like that. And let's turn it round. And let's give it a bit of a coat of this candy apple and see what happens. So just sprinkle it so that it goes, it's gone a little bit more than halfway up, but never mind. I'm going to pop that onto my trivet, which I'm sorry is out of view, but I want to get these powders out of the way first. The last thing we want to do is to be wasting these powders. They're very, very, very special. Let's get that lid on properly. There we go. Now these are mixed colours. That's probably blue and orange. So I would put that in my mixed pot that I would use for my counter enamelling. So let's pop that out of the way and the piece of paper. And let's bring this in and see how we go with this. By the way, if you have got a drill hole and when you put your powder on or your enamel on, if it does fill in the hole, then use a needle or a scribe or something just to clear that drill hole out, because it will fill up the hole if there is powder in there. So just be sure that you clear the drill hole on that one. So let's have a look what we can do with this. You see it going through the stages? There we go. Just until you see that nice glossy finish. There we go. Let's see what we've got there. It's looking good. Oh, let's take that off there. It's got to cool down now. Now, once you've covered the copper up, you don't need to obviously pickle it or anything in between coats. You can just carry on doing your coats. Now, in my opinion, that is, I'm going to pop that there because I'm a bit worried about burning the camera, I'm going to be quite honest. So let's give that a little bit more heat because I think that's quite a lot of orange peel. So let's keep this flame a little bit lower this time, lower as in height, and to give it another blast so that we get that nice glossy finish. This is quite nice actually because it's, oh, that's lovely. There we go. Well, perhaps I'll do it a little bit lower next time. I don't want to be burning the camera, but there we go. So let's take that off there, like that. Move that. Give a bit of a tap. Pop that on there just to cool down. And you will see the colours starting to come out. As it cools down, we're getting the pale blue up there and we're getting the orange down here. Now what I'm going to do is, while we're waiting for that, because that's got, it hasn't got much coverage in the middle and I'd like it to have more coverage. So we're going to pop a little bit more enamel on that one. And you can just keep building it up. You don't, well, I don't know how many layers you could put on, but certainly you can put several on without it doing too much damage. Right, let's, I think I've got powder stuck to the screw in these pots. There we go. So that one's that one, that's that. So let's give it another go. Let's find the little sieve and come up here so you can see. Right. There we go. So it's in the middle. We want more coverage. Like that. Let's pop some more blue on the top. And you can see how the colours get mixed up when you're doing different effects. It's all right if you're just doing one colour. Then you pop, like we did with the counter enamel, just pop it straight back in. Right, let's pop that onto the trivet. Like that. And pop the lid on there. And there's our enamel for our mixed pot. So I'm going to try and put it on this block here again, just to try and ease the damage. So let's put that there. So again, we're looking for the sugar effect, and then the orange peel. Now we're looking for the gloss. As you can see, it does get red hot. It does. You can get your copper quite hot. It's not going to hurt it. That looks lovely. So. See what, but it's really nice because the colours change when they're heated and then they change again once they cool down. It's really, really nice and interesting to see what effect you get when it's all cooled down. There we go. There we go. There we go. So now we're getting the pale blue effect. And we've got the red. And that, wouldn't that, if you did two of those, they would make such a lovely pair of earrings. Obviously, if you've drilled your piece beforehand. But at the moment, while we're waiting for that to cool, I'll show you this. What I'm doing here is I'm making a dome. Now, I'm counter enameling this dome, and because it's not a flat surface, I mean, as you can see, there are, it's not perfect, but we're getting there with it. Because it's not flat, obviously the powder isn't going to stick to it. So what we'll use is clear fire, and we mix it with distilled water. I do it 50-50. I know other people do it different ways, but look how lovely that is. And now that's cooled down, there we go, I'm going to clean the inside, get off all that fire scale, put on more clear fire, which is like, it's like a glue, and the powder will stick to it while you heat it. I'll try and show you that actually once I've got it all cleaned up, and come back and show you what I'm going to do with that. Now we've got transparent and we've got opaque powders in this kit. Transparent ones are really lovely colours that you can build up, no problem at all. You can get them into a stronger colour, shall we say. But what they will do is, if you've textured your copper and you've got a nice texture underneath, if you use the opaque, it'll sort of not get rid of it at all, like not entirely, but it will certainly spoil the effect you're looking for. Whereas if you use the transparent, you should be able to see your texture underneath the enamel once it's done. So let's go back now to this one. Is it cold enough? Yeah. So what we've got is this lovely, lovely piece with the orange, which is, what did we say it was, candy apple or something like that, and then whoops, then we've got the pale blue on this side, and the opportunities are absolutely endless. You can put your different colors on, you can make different patterns, you can use stencils, you can paint on here. So there's lots more sort of research to go into this to see what we can do. This is the domed piece that I thought I'd come and show you. It's got the clear fire and distilled water on it, and which has made the powder stick to the sides of the dome. So I thought I'd come in and show you how that worked. We'll probably need 2 coats. This is only the first coat. Hasn't got anywhere near enough on, but I'll put another coat on, and then we'll have a look at it. Let's give it a second coat and see how we get on. It's quite interesting doing domed pieces. It's quite different than doing the flat ones. to go. Of course, doing it on this charcoal block, I'm so low, I can't actually get in as easily as doing it on the tripod, but we'll do our best with it. Right, we'll let that cool down a bit and we'll see. Oh, we can see the green now. Oh, that's coming well. Oh. There we go. I thought it wasn't going to come off. There we go. We'll see how we get on with the with that when it. I think I'll give it one more coat after this. Actually, now it's cooled down, I'm not going to give it a third coat. I've given it 2. See if I can get it so that you can see it. What I'm going to do now is take the file that comes in the pack and just file off these edges and get rid of that fire scale that's on the edges and polish up the copper that you can see. You see the difference that makes? Just bring it a bit closer. See the difference it makes? It's nice. Right, I'm going to continue working on that, but it's looking good so far.